dun, dun, dun. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Soda Personal Training Podcast. We help busy adults get strong, fit, and healthy and stay that way for a long time, which is what we're going to talk about in this episode, longevity. I'm Coach Sean here with Coach Phil. Phil, how are you?
Howdy. Good.
Howdy. Good.
Guess I'm a cowboy.
Yeah. Are we introing this in any particular way? We're talking about longevity, and you've got a list of things that we're going to go over. Hit us with it.
Yeah, I think there's a theme that happens with a lot of people we see, and it's that they want to be around a really long time. Go figure. And so we got to look at the research for that. So I have a list of these 10 key longevity tactics or strategies to make sure that we have the best chance of doing that as possible. So we're going to go through them one at a time, discuss them a little bit. This will be a little more tactical. And what I want people to do is, as you're listening, just take either a mental note or if you can, put a check mark next to how many of these you are currently doing or some form of it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a scoring system. 0 to 4 of these things, I'd say we got some work to do. Reach out. If you're doing, 5 to 7, pretty good. 8 to 10, you're ahead of the curve as far as longevity is concerned.
And I'm curious. I'm going to see how many I'm going to count in my own head as we go through this, how many I've got. This will be fun.
I think you're doing pretty much all of them.
Well, we'll find out. Okay.
You didn't look at the list yet.
I didn't look at the list.
We always go into these blind, which creates some fun discussion.
Yeah.
But what do you think would be on there?
Oh, you're going to make me guess
I'm just going to quiz you.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you 10 things, and we're going to see how many I got right. Okay, so...
Don't look at this list.
I'm not going to...
Don't look at it.
No. Sleeping 7 to 9 hours a night, eating mostly whole foods, moving your body, call it 150 minutes a week. That's 3 things. Throw your damn phone in the trash can because it's bad for you. No, it's probably not on there, but maybe something related to cell phone management.
There is something, yes.
There's probably something there related to stress management, although that's a little bit harder of an actionable topic. Probably something about about family life, relationships, bonding, and all that stuff. That's definitely on there. What am I at? 6 or 7?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, you're on a good track, and I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Yep.
Buy something from the ice cream truck when the ice cream man comes by.
You don't want to talk to
Do they still have those anymore?
They do, and it's creepy. It's very creepy, and I don't want my kids to go to any strange ice cream trucks. They're not supposed to be having ice cream anyway, but...
Right. Well, let's go down the actual list, I guess.
Yep. And the reason we look at this list, and just before we jump in, is what's longevity, right? We're trying to avoid heart disease. We want to live longer. And I just want to highlight there's a couple differences. People often think about lifespan. They're like, well, I want to be around a long time. I want to live till I'm 80 or 90. But now there's this theme of health span, which is how many years of quality life do I have? Because a lot of people spend the last 5, 10 or more years in a long-term care facility. They're riddled with medications. They run out of money because these facilities are expensive. So we really want to speak to the health span of people to make sure that they're enjoying those last few years and maintaining their quality of life. And it's never too early to start doing that. It's also never too late to start. So let's jump in. Number 1, get 80% of your diet from whole foods, primarily whole foods. Yeah. And
this is so hard if you live in this country. This is really, really hard. I mean, I guess we have to define what is a whole food first, but I mean, right. I usually just think about it as any food where there are not ingredients that you can't pronounce. If you can pronounce all the ingredients on the food that you're eating, then you're probably good, right?
Totally.
And ideally a minimal ingredient list, hopefully no more than 4 or 5 ingredients in a food. It's tricky because even I try to eat a very, very whole foods diet. And for myself, take bread as an example, right? So bread is a thing that people oftentimes will try to avoid, and sometimes for good reason. It's definitely not the greatest thing that you can eat. But I don't consider it necessarily a bad food. It's more just okay, where are we getting the bread from? What's the, how many ingredients and different vegetable oils and hydrogenized, I don't know what the heck are in it.
Emulsifiers.
Yeah, there you go. Yep, which is also in everybody's protein powder too.
Yep.
But yeah, you can get some that it's 4 ingredients, it's like wheat flour and then yeast or something. It's those are good, I would say, right? And obviously the same thing goes for almost any food. Can you pronounce the ingredients in it? And is it a minimal ingredients list?
Right. Right. What's that saying? They're like, if it had a parent or it grew from the ground, you're probably good.
Mm.
If you're opening a box and then opening like another little plastic baggie, like it's
Oh.
processed.
Mhm.
It's processed. If it lasts a really long time on its own, it's processed. The good food's gonna go bad probably within a week.
Yeah.
So you should need a freezer and fridge to store it.
Mhm.
There's not a lot of. This one's pretty black and white. It's like just try to eat clean as much as you can. On this list, I kind of gave like a number. It's like yes or no, just to make it simple. So we said 80%. Like
Yeah.
80% of our calories, we did that talk about 80-20, not 80% of the time, but 80% of our nutrition is coming from those sources. And that's tough. And I'd say that's still enough because then it does leave room for balance and the fun stuff. I don't know, Skittles or something.
Yeah. Ice
Movie
cream
theater.
truck, like I talked
Ice cream
about.
shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I get a point for that one because I eat pretty healthy.
You
so
sure do.
1 point
Yes,
for me.
I told you.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
I
let's
think
go.
you're gonna get a green on this
1
one.
point for me, 0 for everybody else.
Yep.
At least everybody else that I talked about. No,
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see.
Yep.
What's number 2?
Number 2 is you have less than 2 alcoholic beverages per week.
Okay. Yeah, we're definitely getting into the no fun list now.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
it
do
came
get another
real
point
quick.
here for
You do.
I
Yep.
do get another point here
Yep.
for people who know me.
Yep.
So don't drink much alcohol.
Don't drink alcohol at all if you like. You don't have to. I mean, no
Mm-hmm.
one has to. That's the thing. No one has to do it unless you're an alcoholic and you're coming off of alcohol, right? But we need to. This is a toxin. Right? It doesn't do anything for our body. Screws up the sleep. Does a lot of things.
Yeah. Now this one is really hard though, because I empathize, even though I have not drank alcohol in 4 years, but
Mhm.
I empathize with the
Mhm.
social alcoholics
Yes.
and the business alcoholics.
Yep.
Alcoholics the wrong word to use. But
right.
the people who drink in those situations.
Yep.
Because there are times when it legitimately is beneficial to you from a social standpoint,
Yes.
still in our society,
Yep.
to drink alcohol.
Yep.
And that's where I think we're kind of starting to hit a turning point where
Mhm.
more people are just aware of the fact that, hey, alcohol is just really bad for me.
Yep.
We should stop making it like the social norm that you have to
Mhm.
do when you go out, to parties or to business,
Yep.
trips and meetings and dinners and whatever. Like we should
Mhm.
stop making it the thing that you have to consume in order to be socially accepted. We're not there yet. We're not
Mhm.
there yet.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah.
Did you hear I think it's popular in like in Europe, but they're having like these morning raves where people like go
Okay.
early before work and they
Nice.
they have some coffee and they dance and
I'm so down for
it's
that.
so much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much better.
No, because for me, coffee is my alcohol now.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
I'm gonna have like a fun weekend today, like
Yeah.
out with friends, I'll
Yep.
just I'll just overconsume caffeine.
Yeah, getting
you
wild.
know, yeah, just get wild, just get freaking wild. People are
Yeah.
just doing shots of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, give me another espresso. But
give me
yeah,
a shot of espresso, baby.
yeah, 1,000 milligrams of caffeine.
Uh-huh. Yup.
But yeah, like that's my like fun nowadays because I do love the buzz from coffee. Just
Yeah.
I mean, it's not an alcohol buzz, obviously, but yeah, like it's fun for me. So like I'm totally down for a European morning rave with a bunch of
Yeah.
too much coffee.
Yeah. I don't know if it'll catch on, but we should at least be open to it.
I'm way down for that.
I don't know. Maybe they're here.
Yeah.
The
Well-
7 a.m. We tried Daybreaker, the 7 a.m. pre-work rave.
Okay. Well, see, because here's the thing too. This is what's like the problem with modern society. I used to talk about this all the time. Is it's like the healthy versus fun spectrum.
Yes.
Because on the one hand, if you do everything on Phil's list here correctly, you're going to have no fun and no friends, basically, if you get a 100% score on Phil's list, right? Now, on the other hand, if you're super, super fun, your health is going to be in the tank. Just because like the way society works is we've got it kind of all backwards here. It's like the fun stuff is all bad for your health because of the fact that when do the raves happen? When do the parties happen? When does
Late
this
night.
It's late night when you're supposed to be sleeping, right?
Yep.
So you sleep from, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Monday through Thursday, and then Friday you're up until 3:30 in the morning consuming a whole bunch of stuff you shouldn't consume. You maybe sleep for 4.5 hours, kind of intermittent sleeping after that, and you wake up with a hangover. Like if people got wasted in the morning instead of late at night, it would be better.
It's the best time to get drunk.
It's the best time to get wasted is early in the morning, right? And then
Major takeaway number 1. Drink in the morning. It's better for you.
It's so funny to me.
Enjoy.
Best fitness
Don't get
advice.
fired.
Start drinking early.
Is this where we do the medical disclaimer? Not doctors.
Start drinking.
But
early.
yeah.
There was one time a few years ago. So I was at a golf tournament in Iowa with my cousin and a bunch of his buddies.
Yep.
And as you can imagine, there's a lot of alcohol at these things. Just scramble, right? So who cares? You know,
Yeah.
a bunch of alcohol. And one of the guys on the practice green goes, "Hey, we can't drink all day unless we start right now." It was like 9 o'clock in the morning. Yep. I guess that's how it's going to be.
Yep.
So start
Exactly.
drinking early, people. Okay, back to the real
So
advice.
yeah, we just got to change the definition of what fun is because we're just so held on to like the societal norms of like, I'm going to go out and have some drinks. And people struggle. They don't know what to do like after they have kids and they're like, it's not worth it anymore. Now what do I do? Like, I don't know what to do to occupy my time because so many things previously were tied to alcohol consumption. And they realize, oh, that's why it was fun because I was poisoned in my brain.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I say, I had to pick a number here and I said, 2, because then that does allow you to have the 1 or 2 when you're out and about. But if you can't drive, you probably drank too much. That's why they don't let you drive. And that's going to start to implicate all sorts of other parts of your life that you don't want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And and actually just from like a fitness coach perspective, if you have up to 2 drinks a week, say 1 or 2 drinks per week, like that can work. Let's say you're one of those people who's like really serious about trying to recomposition your body. Like I got to build some muscle, burn some body fat. You start drinking like 3, 4, 5 plus drinks a week, it just ain't going to happen. It's too many empty calories.
Yep.
1 or 2, we can work with that,
We can fit that in.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. With confidence. So again, it's not 0, but like, is 0 better for you? Probably, if we don't factor in those other, again, business practices that sometimes are there. You can get an NA beverage. Those are getting more popular, these mocktails.
They're
still,
not bad.
Still a little bit of sugar probably, but like it's not alcohol. So again, pick which one.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, you get 150 minutes of moderate intensity exercise per week. Proves heart health. We know the benefits of this. So you got to keep moving. You and Maddie did that big episode about, well, what does that mean? The only thing I want to say on this is for people who are busy, it's a miracle because 2 things are happening, right? People are like, I am so busy, I can't fit in 30 minutes a few times a week. In a lot of cases, they're that tight. They're like, how am I going to make it work? And on the other hand, the fact that 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week, if you're like strength training, is enough to actually do so many good things for our lean muscle and body composition. It's like, of all the hours of the week, it only takes that much and we can see a difference from a few sets. Yes.
Yeah.
The science all backs us up. You can do a couple sets of one move, and that's enough to at least counteract the muscle loss we see around the age of 30. It just starts going down, and if you just do it 2 or 3 days a week, you can help reverse that.
Yep.
And if you want to live around a long time, you got to keep your muscle because Father Time's just stripping it. And if you sit at a desk and you don't use anything, we'll see where that goes. More aches and pains. You're going to be like, my metabolism's broken. You just don't have any muscle.
Yeah.
Muscle is a sponge for glycogen. And so you should never be afraid of packing on the muscle because it's not going to happen by accident. And 2, I know everyone's just like, I don't want to look bulky. No one gets bulky by accident. And it actually downplays all the hard work that every male in their mid 20s to mid 30s is trying to do to pack it on. Yeah. It's very hard. So it's not going to happen by accident. Only good things will happen as long as you do it safely. But when you talk about blood sugar control, one of these 4 horsemen, if you will, of disease is diabetes. And when you have all this glucose in your system, they have nowhere to go. That's what leads to insulin sensitivity issues and eventually prediabetes and full-on diabetes. So the muscles act as a sponge, especially when you exercise, it helps basically utilize that glucose so you don't have those blood sugar issues. So yeah, a bit of a rant on that, but like just put on the muscle, keep moving. It doesn't take that much. You can do it. Got to be important enough though.
Yep.
Yeah, you and Maddie talked a lot about that. Anything you kind of wanted to add from that based on your guys' discussion?
I don't think so. No, and I definitely can't give a better scientific explanation than you just did. So let's roll right along.
Well, last time you said that Maddie was actually smarter than you, so I really doubled down on the...
Well, I'm not going to take back my statement. I do think that Maddie's smarter than you, but that was a good explanation.
No, that makes 2 of us. I agree. 'cause, she knows what she's talking about. Okay. No, number five. Number five. Right? Nope. Number
Yeah,
four.
don't skip 4.
No.
This is the one that most people skip. It's sleep. I'm looking at
Sleep.
it right now. Yeah,
Sleep.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. You need to have good sleep hygiene.
Yeah, it's okay. So, oh man, where do I want to take this within the time constraints here? It's maybe the hardest one. It's maybe harder than nutrition. It's maybe harder than getting 80% of your diet from whole foods. Like for
Yeah.
most people to realistically sleep 7 to 9 hours per night. I think on there it says 7 to 8. 7
Yeah.
to 8 is great.
Yeah.
But to sleep enough and to do it on a consistent schedule for most people in this country and around the world
Yeah.
is so hard. Number one, to get just to get enough, to get 7 to 8 hours of time actually sleeping per night for adults is very hard for a number of reasons. Some of them, valid excuses. You have to work. You have a challenging job, challenging schedule. Some of them stupid excuses. You like to stay up watching reels and TikToks until way too late at night. And then there's, social life. This is back to that healthy fun spectrum that I talked about, where most of the time, the fun events, obviously parties, things like that, start way late, go until way late at night. Even simple things like, we know concerts, God, but even like sporting events, if like this is what honestly kind of sucks about like the modern world is think about it. Like if I want to go to a Minnesota Timberwolves game, right? Someone like me, I typically go to bed around 9:30, 9:45. Okay. Now, once again, think of this as like really high level, like trying to optimize your health versus being kind of in that like, mediocre, it's okay, not doing that bad, but not doing that great. Okay. It's a fairly high level thing here. But like if someone like me wants to go to a Timberwolves game, okay, like on an average day, the way that I bring high energy to my job and, I'm pretty fit, pretty healthy, bring high energy throughout the day, do personal training, do my own workouts, feel good. There's a lot of things that go into it. And a big part of it is pretty much 7 days a week nowadays. Like I go to bed sometime between 9:30 and 10:15 and wake up sometime between 5:15 and 6, and it's like 7 hours and a half, 7:45 of sleep. And an alarm pretty much doesn't wake me up almost ever, And so if I want to go to a Timberwolves game, which I rarely do at this point, but I would love to, especially if they make the playoffs. Okay, maybe the game starts at 7 or 7:30, right? And you think to yourself, okay, well, yeah, it should be fine. It'll get over by, 9:30 or something like that, right? Nah. It gets over at 9:45 or 10 or something, and then you're going down the escalators and everything, and you got to get parking, get out of there or whatever. You take another 30, 45 minutes to get home. You get home by 10:45. You're still kind of wired, even though you didn't do anything crazy. It wasn't some,
You sat in a chair.
You sat in a chair, right? But it's the bright lights, it's the environment, it's the adrenaline, it's everything. Totally. I fall asleep at 11:15 or 11:30, right? Now I've cut my sleep by an hour and a half for that night, okay? Trust me, that makes a massive difference in the way I feel the next day, okay? Now you string enough of those together throughout the course of a week and throughout the course of a month, and now, like a lot of people don't realize this because they've never strung together a period of weeks or months of good sleep, but the difference between sleeping 7.5 to 8 hours per night consistently the same time versus like 6 or 6.5 with a kind of like on and off sleep schedule is massive. The way that your body feels, your energy levels, your ability to build and maintain muscle, your ability to burn body fat, like this all is affected by sleep in the long run. Your susceptibility to getting sick. Like I used to get sick very frequently. I almost never get sick anymore. Just and like it's because of the way I eat and move, but probably mainly because of the way I sleep. And like I said, this is just like the simple example of going to a sporting event that theoretically happens at a reasonable time. We're not even talking about a midnight event here. Right? Yep. But like that's how hard it is in modern society just to stay on a good sleep schedule that keeps you healthy.
It's like the perfect example of something that's so simple and so difficult. Like it's so straightforward. It's like, I just gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
But it's not that simple, or it's not that easy to implement
for
a multitude of reasons, societal norms, kids, stress. I got this deadline. Like every night last week, it's been like every night after I finally get Sophia down, and that could be 10. It's a big issue. But I'm like, I got that thing. And if I just do it now, I will feel better in the morning. And like, whether or not that's true, the pressure's still there.
Yeah.
So it's hard to do. this will also feed into one of these other, oh, it's actually the next one. So it will feed into another one. But I just want to share one statistic that always stuck with me when I heard it is that after daylight savings, right, when we lose that hour, there's a study in the Journal of American Heart Association. There's a 24% increase in heart attacks on the Monday following that shift.
Yep.
And so, of course, there's always this correlation is not causation theme. Like, it doesn't mean it caused it, but like, it was a big study. And it's just like, well, that's interesting. It doesn't happen any other time of year that it jumps up like this.
Yeah.
Right? There's something there.
Yeah.
With a lot of these, I studied psychology and we did a lot on research. And so we know that these studies we have to look at and actually understand how they're doing things because they can't be manipulated. However, the thing I want to mention is that there's something called a confounding variable, which basically says, that's the whole thing with red wine is they're like, well, these people live longer and maybe it's because of this one, ingredient in the wine, but it's a confounding variable, which means, for example, in summer, okay, crime goes up. Okay. The temperature is up, but also the ice cream truck frequency is up. Does that mean that ice cream trucks being around means there's going to be more crime and murder? No, it's a confounding variable. It's attached to it because it's summer. So the same thing is important to look at when we look at research because they're like, well, that means red wine is good for me. So I went a little tangent, but I think the research, and I know how to look at these numbers to make sure like these are actual good studies too, because there's a lot of nonsense.
Yeah.
You can trust me. Okay. So moving on. I got a dip from that one. The next one is a form of like our mental health. So you practice journaling, meditation, or mindfulness in some way, shape, or form to reduce, stress. And this is me time. So this can look a lot of different ways. But just something to absorb or at least acknowledge all these busy thoughts.
Yeah.
Meditation is like the art of, it's not like I'm just going to try to like get rid of these thoughts. It's like you're sitting on a bus bench.
We're back to buses.
No. Talk about the bus.
Inside joke.
No.
I'll hold my tongue. Go ahead,
We
Phil.
can't go into that. We don't have time. But you're sitting on the bus bench, right? And it feels like you're in the traffic all the time. And we just want to get rid of the cars. Those are the stresses. But really, meditation is like you're just sitting on the bench. You can see it and you acknowledge it. And that helps.
Yeah.
That helps us with that stress. Because can't get rid of the stress. We can manage it. So some form of stress management technique. Journaling, like for me, is great because I have all this stuff in my head all the time. I got to do this. That's happening next week. Want to do this. And so I write it down. And I call this getting rid of the head trash. Like there's all this garbage up here that keeps me up. So I just download it to a piece of paper. And it's like, oh, it's there waiting for me. So.
Yes. And I also have an idea for people because I've used to, probably 3 or 4 years ago, I did a lot of both of those things of meditation and journaling, and very useful when you do them well, and everything you just said is spot on. And one thing, I know there's probably going to be some people who listen to this that are going to be like, tried it, can't do it, don't have time for it, or something like that, or doesn't work for me, can't clear my head like that. One thing that I would recommend to a lot of people is if you're that person who's just like too busy, you got kids, busy job, everything, every day is overwhelming, whatever, you have no time to think. All I want you to do is leave your phone in the house and walk outside for as little as like 2 minutes. Because this can actually be a form of, I'll just call it meditation and kind of stepping away from all the things that are overwhelming you. And it kills a couple birds with one stone. So in addition to the fact that you get away from, the chaos that may exist in your house or in your job or on your phone or, whatever on your computer, you step away from that, put that in the house for a few minutes, just go take a walk outside. You get some steps in, you move the body a little bit, you reset your circadian rhythms a little bit, which for the most part are effed up in the modern world because we're all inside and with artificial lights all day long. You see the sunlight or the natural light, like just go out there and you'll probably find that meditative, you know,
Mhm.
even just take a couple deep breaths. You don't even have to walk that far. Just like stand out there and go,
Yeah. Just breathe. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, like it can be a lot simpler than people think. People think of
Yeah.
meditation as having to do like a
Yep.
30-minute full on thing where you sit there with like,
They're like monks, and they're
Yes,
like
exactly.
just really, yeah.
yeah.
Well, this is also a practice. Meditation it's not like you just get to pop in and enjoy it when you want.
Yeah,
It takes
yeah.
a lot of practice. It's an
Yes,
art
yes.
form. It's not just, oh, I'll meditate and it'll be better. Doesn't work that way.
Correct. Yep.
So frame it that way so we don't expect something to happen when it won't.
Mhm.
And yeah, just breathe. And if anyone's stressed out right now and you're listening to this, pause it and just take a deep breath in through your nose, hold it for a few seconds, exhale. Do that 3 times and tell me you don't feel better.
Yep.
You go for that walk. Almost, I can't imagine anyone's going to come back and be like, that was a bad idea, unless they get hit by a car or something. But then there's other issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was that on the list? Don't get hit by a car. I'm sorry, these are stupid
I guess
morbid
there's
jokes.
11
a
now.
longevity
Don't
principle?
get hit by. Yeah, that's
All
not
right.
going to help you with
Anyway.
longevity at all.
Sorry, we've turned into dicks now. Okay.
I know.
What's number 6 on there?
We're trying. We still know what we're doing. You can complete regular health screens with your doctor.
Mm.
The general practitioner based health screens are very effective at early detection of things that will try to kill us.
Yeah.
Cancer, heart disease, diabetes, things like that. So, every quarter go in, just get your blood work done, just so you know,
Yeah.
and you can stay ahead of it, because there's a lot of those things with the blood work we can't feel, like diabetes.
Yep, yep.
All of them. We can't feel any of them in our body, which medicine's great at treating them when they're there, but they're not great at this preventative stuff. So you have to
Yeah.
pull back the veil a little bit. This is Peter Attia's book, Outlive, he calls it Medicine 3.0, where we're actually staying ahead of things. And that's
Yeah.
why he's a longevity, expert. So read his book if you haven't. It's huge. Some parts are very scientific, others are not. But it all makes a lot of sense. It's let's not just treat things when they present themselves when it's too late.
Mhm.
So if you get cancer, it's not like, oh, cool, I can just go in. Unless you catch it early, it's really hard. So let's just try to do everything we can not to get it in the first place.
What do you think are the most important blood markers? Because I'm actually in the process of scheduling some blood work for myself, and I'm trying to figure out like what all do I need to get done.
I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay.
So I've been working on very behind the scenes, but like this Strength for Life program that we're going to try to beta test soon, just to like get feedback. But I put together all the metrics that are related to metabolic health. And we have ranges and kind of what's passing and not. But as far as blood work, there's, high density lipoprotein cholesterol, or HDL. You want to be over 40 milligrams per deciliter for men, over 50 for women.
Mhm.
Triglycerides, I can't talk today.
Triglycerides. Does Phil need
of
more
less
sleep?
than yes, I do, of less than 150 milligrams per deciliter. Those are a couple of the big ones. Sure.
Yeah, so it's like while you're scrolling there, I'm just gonna like interrupt with my own thoughts. So it's lipid panel, still an important one. LDL, HDL, your triglycerides, cholesterol related stuff. And, obviously we're looking at blood sugar levels, hemoglobin A1C, glucose, stuff like that. Kidney and liver function, I'm assuming, is important. Vitamin D, I would argue, is important for people to get tested. Hormones. See, this is where it gets tricky. And the reason I asked that question is because it's like, okay, at a regular checkup with most primary doctors, they still don't necessarily cover a lot of this stuff. Hormones don't get tested regularly. Vitamin D doesn't get tested regularly. What else? I mean, there's like prostate screening for men.
Yep. That's a fun one.
What I'm like missing. Even like a CBC, like a complete blood count, where they're looking at, red blood cells, white blood cells. I can't remember if that's like your CMP, your complete metabolic panel. I think that's mostly like the liver and kidney stuff. But like, long story short, there's a whole bunch of stuff that should probably be tested. And I'm thinking this out in my head right now because in my personal life, I'm like, all right, well, how do I want to get all this tested and in the most cost effective way possible?
Right. Well, and there's the gap. And why I want to build this out is usually it's either people do this in a clinical setting that doesn't do the fitness piece, or it's a gym where they do none of that blood work. So we're going to basically trying to partner with a local clinic. We can go in or have a nurse come here, do the blood work, go through the panel with them so they understand.
Can I be the guinea pig?
Oh,
I
yeah.
want some blood work.
Yeah,
I
but
want
I'm
blood
gonna
drawn
stick ya.
right now.
I'm gonna stick
I don't
ya.
care if you
Give
stick
me
me.
a-
I'm
give me a-
cool with that.
give me a
like a lot
pencil.
of people, a lot of people are shy of needles. You can blow up my vein a little bit, and it won't bother me that much.
Really?
Okay. Like,
Yeah, I'm not into that. If they don't get it the first time, like you're
I mean,
fired.
it's not a big deal for me. Like, don't give me an infection or something. But
Yep.
I don't care if you
Yep.
don't stick me exactly correctly.
All right, so we got.
I said it on the internet. It's
10
fine.
Yeah.
Sorry. a few
So
more
I'm
to
just
go
gonna
through.
run through these tests from these are like the Peter Attia recommendations, but basic
Mm-hmm.
genetic tests. There's APOE, which assesses Alzheimer's. TOM40 gene, another risk factor. Those are uncommon. You're gonna have to get a special clinic to test for those,
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably very expensive as of right now. Metabolic tests, you got fasting glucose and insulin, hemoglobin A1C, lipid panel, and homocysteine.
Should we ask
Homocysteine.
Maddie what that means?
That one
Should we ask
actually
a
I'm not
smarter
really-
person?
It's a marker of inflammation and heart disease risk.
Okay.
So that's one. That's one that's like, a little less common in my knowledge base.
Mhm.
There's some for inflammation and oxidative stress. Starts to get a little more involved. And then hormonal tests like estrogen,
Yeah.
testosterone, thyroid function, which are very prominent in like women who have crossed menopausal,
Yeah.
ranges. Sometimes hormone, therapy is required for a lot of people to feel their best, but can be a scary thing. So, these are ones you want to ask your doctor. We obviously won't be doing all of these, but we're going to try to hit a few, the ones that we know are very easy, like cholesterol, the things that are benefit from exercise, just measuring those things.
Yep.
So go make that doctor
Get your
appointment
blood work done.
you've been putting off.
Mhm.
7 is you maintain strong social connections, or you spend time with loved ones.
So drink that wine.
You were wait, what?
Up to
Yeah.
2 glasses a week.
Yeah, you maintain strong social connections
Mhm. Yeah.
with people that drink wine.
Mhm. Yeah. With people that do rave parties in the morning
Exactly.
with slightly higher than average
No.
amounts of caffeine.
You get rid of your burner friends, get a new circle.
Yep.
But we just know that's the break from the plane of normalcy, I like to call it, where we're in this grind. We got to work hard. We got to try to be a good parent. We got to be a good partner and all this. So just make sure you're engaging in time with people that you like, where it gets you off your phone and gives you that break, because that is very restorative. So
Mhm.
go call that friend you haven't in a while.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I got nothing to add.
I got like 3 friends.
Yeah. I
That's good.
was gonna make a joke kind of similar. We'll go on to number 8.
Oh shit. Yeah, you might have less friends than me.
Yeah,
but,
but it's okay. Most people listening have more friends than us, so
It's
they're
good.
doing
So
better.
go talk
This
to
is-
them.
I forgot to keep track for myself, so this is probably one where I lose a point. Everybody gets a point in this one because everybody, like, if anything, the listeners get a point in this, and then didn't get any of the other points on
Yeah.
the way through. But I
Yeah.
think on the other ones, how am I doing?
Yeah.
Let's see. I only get a half point for blood work. I'll let you keep going, and I'll kind of add it in my head since
Yeah.
I know we're short
No,
on
that's
time.
fair.
But let's see.
I think so. Yeah, and I'll just say I think you get a decent social connection with our clients here, and that probably fills the cup
Too
enough.
much, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
To the
quite a
point where on
bit.
Sundays, I don't want to talk to
Yeah,
anybody.
yeah, I know it. Exactly. Well, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're not coming in.
Yeah, but remember what you said.
You're
I'm your
helping a lot of
trainer, not your
people.
friend. I don't have
That's
any friends.
right.
I'm your coach, not your friend.
Put up
Okay?
that brick wall.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so. David Goggins. Yeah. So 8 has to do with cognition. It's you regularly
Whoa.
stimulate your mind. So pull up that
Whoa.
Sudoku puzzle and get to work.
Whoa, cognition.
Yeah, go figure. Learn something periodically. Try to pick up a new
Whoa.
skill. Pick up a guitar you always wanted to do. So get something that stimulates you. I'm not talking Wordle. That's on your phone, right? Get off the phones. Do something else. Put on
Mhm.
paper. Put a puzzle together. Like,
Mhm.
go do a puzzle and tell me you don't feel somewhat fulfilled from doing that task, because it's just this cognitive test of, it's just a different way of using our brain than we're used to, because it's not on a screen.
Mhm.
So that's it. But that has been shown to delay the onset of Alzheimer's. If you have the gene for it, you should do everything you can to push that off, because it's not a fun thing. Okay, 9. We got 2 left. 9 is you actively avoid toxins. This is hard.
Good luck.
Yeah, this is hard because this one I was like, but you could kind of rope this into the alcohol one, another like drug use, I guess. But basically, we all have microplastics in our system now, so we're already kind of screwed.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess that's like our asbestos, if someone said it before.
Yeah,
Like
let's
that's
think
our
through
thing.
toxins, Phil. Okay, so
Mhm.
we're in this room right
You like
now
this one?
where there's there's the, like you said, you're drinking out of the microplastics. I don't know what the cups out of there are. You got water bottles over
I got
there.
stainless steel. I'm good.
Well, you're not giving it to the clients.
We don't have any more water. They have to.
I'm pointing right out there
They
at
have to
it.
drink out of their hand. No, I don't. I hate plastic.
Mhm.
I hate
Has
plastic.
this building been mold tested?
I'm pretty sure it has.
Okay,
I wish I could
all right,
answer
all
you
right,
faster.
okay.
Pretty sure there's like laws for that, I think, but I better check.
Yep.
I'll get back to you on that.
Has your home been mold tested?
You
I don't
know,
even
we
know that. I'm
didn't
just
we
talking
didn't
out
do
of
an
my ass. I don't know that
inspection,
much about
so
this, but-
we bought our house when it was like that
Mhm.
time when they're like, nah, no inspection. You just got to buy it like this.
Mhm.
And we're like, okay. So
What about Wi-Fi and 5G? Is the jury still out on whether or not that could be bad for us?
It's a
for the
whole
long term?
episode. It's
Yep.
a little
A little too
little
woo-woo
out
for
there.
this one.
No, I think we can still talk about it, but just not today.
Uh-huh. But that's what I'm saying. Like when you talk about like the other things around us, because I put
Uh-huh.
like toxins in the
Yep.
category. How about the clothes you're wearing? You know, the dishwasher
Like,
detergent,
like
and
fragrances and all that
fragrances.
stuff,
How about
which has
that?
been shown to be horrible
Yes.
for us.
How about all that?
It's a lot. Like
And avoid some
deodorant,
toxins,
everything.
Phil. Good luck with
You
that.
got to go live in the woods, basically.
Yep,
So-
exactly. Which has other risks to your health.
So actively just means like you don't smoke. Okay, you manage your alcohol. Drink out of stainless steel. Like these things have been shown through research to not be great for us. Just bring it to your awareness if you can. That's
Mhm.
all.
Yep.
And then lastly is you supplement as needed. Now that can come a number of different ways, but here we go. Oh, here we go. Shelly's good and early. Excellent. But yeah, supplement
We got
as
a few
needed.
minutes.
Vitamin D, omega-3, like these are all going to be very specific to the individual.
Supplements. Ooh, wow. Okay. Man, I could come like that could go a lot of different ways. I mean, I'm glad you put supplement as needed.
Mhm.
You know, vitamin D is a big one. I used to be way low on vitamin D
Mhm.
and realized you just can't get enough of it here in Minnesota. So you kind of got to
No,
supplement in the
Not
winter
during the
months,
winter.
You know,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
unless you go to Florida like every other week. Let's see. Most people should probably just take creatine. Not a doctor
Yes.
medical disclaimer, but you should probably just take creatine
Yep.
monohydrate, 5 grams a day.
Yep.
Um,
For more than just workouts,
yeah.
it's been shown to do
Yeah.
a lot for your
that
cognition
cognitive
too.
stuff. Yep, it's going to make you think. It's going to make you think
Makes
straight.
you smarter.
Mhm.
We'll do one on. I have a topic to cover through like supplements, which ones are great, which ones are nonsense, because it's very confusing. I think
Yep.
for a lot of people, and there's pretty much like 3 or 4. And it's like
Well, I just told you everything except creatine and vitamin D3
Mhm.
potentially with K2 and
Yep.
magnesium is BS. It's all dumb.
yeah,
right?
someone's gonna take one. And I'd say creatine,
Yep.
and then vitamin D. Those are the 2 big ones in my book.
Mhm.
Just if you're Minnesotan, vitamin D.
Yep.
Otherwise, you should try to get it from the sun, 10 to 15 minutes.
Yep.
Totally naked.
Yep, exactly.
And, in private.
Yep. Yep.
Um,
well, if you're in France, you can. I'm sorry, you can go on.
Yeah. So you want to ask your doctor, and this is tied into that like blood work because you'll know where you're deficient.
Mhm.
Just vet the company you use for that because there's a lot of these online companies that do blood work, and there's a pretty wide variety of accuracies and things like that. So
Mhm.
don't trust your friend who sells isogenics.
Definitely don't.
That's 10.
That's 10.
So
counting.
go ahead.
I'm counting for myself now because I definitely did not get 10 out of 10. Okay, avoid toxins. Nobody's avoiding toxins the
I
way
know.
we should be.
But do you
okay?
try to?
Yeah,
Then
but
you get
like
a
it's
point.
kind of hard. You actively
You're
avoid.
thinking about it.
I mean, I'm trying. No, like the mold testing that needs to be done on homes, trying to get dryer sheets and detergents that don't have
No, we just don't.
estrogen
We
blockers
just
or
don't
whatever
use
they're
them.
called. There's no chance.
Yeah.
Anyway, but so no point for that one.
Okay,
Supplement as
fine.
needed. I could do better with that. Probably. I could probably use maybe a couple other things. I don't know. Regular health screen's not that great. I probably only got like a 6.
I think
on
you're being
this.
hard on yourself.
No, I think it's like a 6.
It's like a
I'm in
graded
the-
curve.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
I'm lower than you. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I was putting this together and I forget to think about myself. But
Yeah.
this whole fitness thing, it's a self-help journey in disguise,
Yeah.
as they say. In summary, what gets measured gets managed. So
Whoa.
we think about these things. If you score yourself, you're like, uh-oh. Again, if you're 8 or above, you're doing great. You're ahead of the curve. 5 to 7, I think I said, is yellow zone, right? There's a couple things you can work on. if you're 4 or less, yeah, reach out to us. Like, bring this to awareness. It's a shameless plug. It's what we do.
Yeah.
Or work with someone that you can work with. But we do know this playing field. And it's funny, I put this list together, and this is stuff we've kind of always preached. There's a few other ones that, the toxin one is just like, ugh, come on.
I mean, yeah, well, and I got to go in 30 seconds, but you forget, like, there's really nothing that says strength training and lift weights on there. There's nothing
Activity.
specifically activity.
Moderate intensity activity.
Most people would take that to be like, I'm going to go for a nice walk or a bike ride. Come in here and lift some weights with me.
Yes, they're going to walk here to see us in the gym, lift some weights, and then walk home. Yeah, no, you should strength train.
Be strong.
Be very strong. Listen to our previous episode about strength training. You need to lift weights 2 to 3 times a week.
Come in here and lift weights with me.
With us.
Yep.
Soon. All right. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Phil.
Thank you, everyone, for listening.
Love y'all.
Time to get back to it.
Peace.